Today, I'm reviewing Xcelerator at Knott's Farm in Buena Park, California, the Intamin hydraulic launch coaster. This ride opened in 2002, and it is certainly a rush. This was actually the prototype hydraulic launch coaster. Hydraulic launches are beloved by the coaster community for their incredible accelerations. These launches pack a wallop. They offer a rate of acceleration that can only be topped by the S&S compressed air launches. Xcelerator opened with the fastest acceleration in the United States. You go from 0 to 82 miles per hour in just 2.3 seconds. Xcelerator helped pave the way for Intamin's larger hydraulic launch coasters like Top Thrill Dragster. While these hydraulic launches pack a punch, they also have a major downside: reliability. There are at least 2 known instances when Xcelerator's launch cable has snapped. And this issue isn't exclusive to the prototype either. Other launch coasters have had similar issues. Look at Top Thrill Dragster and Stormrunner, for example. One of the biggest differences with Xcelerator versus the later hydraulic launch coasters is that Xcelerator launches directly from the station. Now, this may have been a space thing. Knott's Farm is an extremely landlocked park, and they wanted to cram this extreme launch coaster into a plot of land previously occupied by the infamous Windjammer. But it definitely hurts the ride's capacity. There really isn't any benefit to running a second train since the cycle time is so short and the train has to wait for the previous one to leave the station. Compare that to the later launch coasters like Top Thrill Dragster, Kingda, or Stormrunner that had a launch track separate from the station and the ability to load multiple trains simultaneously. Now, my favorite row in Xcelerator is the very front, and that's the same with all hydraulic launch coasters. It's the place to feel the full force of that acceleration. However, I rarely ride in the front row. Why? The front row queue for Xcelerator is the 8th circle of hell. Most launch coasters have a designated front row queue, and usually it's a few extra cycles. But on Xcelerator, the queue splits off into the front row and all other rows fairly far back. So a lot of people enter the queue for the front without realizing just how long it is. It's not uncommon to see it's at least 15 to 20 trains deep. So if you see a short wait for the front, hop all over it. Otherwise, you could be waiting a while. Another note about Xcelerator's loading is that the queues aren't for specific rows. Rather, they're for the entire car. So when the gates open, 4 riders should pass through to fill 2 separate rows. I haven't seen this set up on any other coaster, and it's definitely confusing if you're unaware. But if you know it's coming, it has the advantage that you might be able to find an empty row. Xcelerator's trains are very open. Unlike Kingda or Stormrunner that have those over-the-shoulder restraints, Xcelerator has just a simple T-bar, so you're very exposed in this ride. When you're given the all-clear, the train slowly rolls backwards and the countdown starts. And when that green light shows, you blast out of the station. Xcelerator's launch is so powerful, it causes my stomach to drop. Only the most forceful launches have managed to do that. This sensation makes the launch exciting no matter where you sit, but it's extra great up front when you have that blast of wind hitting your face. That's followed by the top hat, and you charge over this element, so you get some incredible and sustained ejector airtime cresting the element up front. Compare that to Top Thrill Dragster, where the train barely coasts over the top hat. It feels like that ride is always tempting fate with a rollback. Xcelerator seems to have a bit more margin here when it clears the top hat. If you're in the back, you get your dose of extreme ejector airtime on the drop. It is fantastic. And since the drop has a 90-degree twist, you also get some wild laterals. Now, unlike some of the Xcelerator coasters like Dragster, Kingda, or Stealth, Xcelerator has a little something after the top hat. That something just isn't too noteworthy. Xcelerator hauls through 2 overbanks. Neither of these overbanks offer any airtime or strong Gs, but you do really feel the sense of speed, particularly if you're up front. So while Xcelerator has more to it than some of the other Xcelerator coasters, it's still an incredibly short ride. It's over in almost 25 seconds. But the ride is an undeniable rush. For reference, I believe Xcelerator is still traveling around 70 miles per hour when it hits the brake run. Needless to say, most people are out of breath when they hit the station, me included. So what do I rank Xcelerator? I'd give it an 8 out of 10. That launch is absolutely breathtaking. It's one of my favorite launches on any coaster. and the subsequent top hat is amazing as well. Xcelerator is just way too short to earn anything higher in my opinion. Have you ridden Xcelerator or any of the hydraulic launch coasters? I'd love to hear your thoughts below. Subscribe for more coaster reviews, and thanks for listening.